In Britain, we have a long history of woodland management through coppicing, and many of our woodland species have adapted to take advantage of the range of habitats that this provides. The cutting of coppice suddenly allows high levels of light to reach what was a previously dark and shaded woodland floor. And in the first few years after coppicing, woodland plants burst into flower. The abundant food, warmth and shelter attract high numbers of birds, small mammals, butterflies and other invertebrates. After a few years, the coppice forms a low, dense habitat. This offers ideal nesting and feeding opportunities for dormice and birds such as nightingales and willow warblers. Mature coppice like this creates much darker conditions than the early stages of the coppice cycle and generally supports fewer species. However, it is a really important stage in the coppice cycle, shading out those light-demanding species typical of permanent open space. Instead, shade-tolerant plants like dog's mercury dominate. As more competitive plants are shaded out, many important species are able to flourish, flowering when the coppice is cut. This includes primroses and violets, food plants for some of our rarest butterflies. As different coppice stages provide habitat for different species, it is important to stagger coppicing throughout your wood. Cut coops in different years to provide a continuity of habitat so that wildlife can move around. Mature trees in coppice coops, known as standard trees, also provide a wide range of habitats which are used by wildlife, including butterflies, beetles and birds. Traditionally, like coppice, standards were also managed in a cycle. Mature trees were cut down to provide timber and younger trees grown on to replace them. In modern management, a few scattered standards should be managed in much the same way, but leave some trees to become veterans, which offer a particularly valuable wildlife habitat. It is also really important to retain some deadwood when you cut your coppice. Often, all cut material is removed from the site or burned, but deadwood is another hugely important habitat for wildlife. Leave some lying and some standing deadwood if possible, but do be careful not to suppress the ground flora underneath. Coppicing is a sustainable way to manage your woodland, and it is also one of the most effective ways to increase its value for wildlife.